Hey, how's it going? This is George, Truck Driver Nation. Obviously, we're updating the logo. I had the one that I originally had was just Truck Driver Nation in a square box. I thought maybe that might be a little bit nicer. AI actually produced that. I mean, I gave it the specs on what I need. So, I'd love to hear your opinions on that type of situation. I was going to do this in more like a TikTok video. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I'm still learning things. And I'm actually looking for somebody that that's good at making media. I'm using a lot of media that, was either mine or wasn't mine, because I promote to other companies. And, that's fine and dandy. They deserve it. They've got more time and the ability to do these things. Because basically, it's just me and my wife. We're almost like a one-man show. But the content for what we all know, both me and them, it depends on, what we're doing, is all about dispatching. Yeah, you can do recruiting and you can be a freight agent, and that's all fine and good. But what I want to talk about here is about, people coming in and wanting to be a dispatcher. We got a lot of people that, they might be being persuaded, like if it's a truck driver, most of the time the truck drivers have a better idea of what they're getting off into because they want to get off the truck. And completely get it. But even they don't understand sometimes that, and I try to explain that you've really got to be wanting to be a freight dispatcher. It's not something that you just do a fly by night and then you're going to be great at it. We give you everything, absolutely. That's part of the deal. But the deal is, even if we give you everything, we're teaching you and all the data and information, techniques, rationale, and reasoning behind what decisions we make when we make them. When we're, excuse me, when we're loading trucks, you got to know why you're doing these things. Um, we try to make head and tail sense of it so that you're not so lost in some kind of jungle that doesn't even really exist in dispatching. But you have to stay every day. You have, especially Monday through Friday, and about a 50-50 chance on Saturday, if we get trucks loaded, you got to stay competitive and looking at the market and staying on the boards. After a certain time of the day, well, the load boards are basically, they are what they are, and everybody's gone home anyways. But, you do some after hours work, but there's still other issues that arise inside your team, that being the owner operators that you're dispatching for, and how you're going to actually want to grow yourself. I've got some people that have jumped on board and we've got them where they're looking really good because they chose to use outside sourcing. And because we do provide that avenue where, we got people that work for $200 a month, $300 a month. They're working over 40 hours a week, but they're sourced from other countries because I've got connections in all those different spots. That's the reason, for the truth of it, I'm probably cheaper than anybody that there is because I don't require that type of overhead or cost to actually cover my basic needs of life. And we're growing and building our name based on that ability because once I come back to the United States, well, that's going to put me in a whole different situation. But while I have that ability, people should utilize it. And, they get one foot in, one foot out. And there's people being persuaded by family members or, it might be a truck driver that has his wife, his kids, his daughter, whoever it is. But people are being kind of pressured sometimes and they don't succeed. I mean, sometimes we get paid for some services that we never even see the customer again on. It's like, well, what the hell happened to them? Did they die? And, we're not going to sit there and chase people. We just don't have that type of time. We're here for you during that period. And then they still don't realize that even after you've done, whether you showed or not, you took our time to commit yourself to this. So you still owe money on the back end. And then that puts us in a position where we have to do collections and all these other factors. So the point being said is make sure that you really want to be a freight dispatcher. It's a great career. I mean, if you get into it, you're going to love it because you're not just the flexibility of being able to work from home or work from any other country or anything like that. It's just ability once you build the relationships inside the trucking industry with truck drivers, owner operators, or whoever it might be, however you're going to set it up, because your interactions with people is going to be different than my interactions with people. But we give you everything, the contracts, leads, the whole nine yards. We make it as easy as possible for you to succeed. We really don't know any other better way to do this. I mean, There's been some other ones, but it's not broke because we get a lot of people reaching out and joining Truck Driver Nation for these services. We do have private meetings. It depends if you're going to just do the standard program where you do it for $500 with the 2% on the back end for freight that you'll be brokeraging out to the owner operators, or you decide you want to do the plan where actually I just put it all together for you. Now, that way, I've only can do so many people at a time because I can't train nobody up to what I know. I thought, well, yeah, here, this is for me, it's simple because I've been doing it so long. But for people that, you know, the ability to be a problem solver, it's not that easy to transition it over to somebody where they can come in and do it. So that being said, that's the reason I've got so many people wanting, hey, I want to do VIP. You set everything up for me and just let me take over it. If you don't know the core material, though, even if I do that for you, you're not going to be successful because you're not taking that side serious. And yeah, I can easily set it up. And, I had a couple people just get me to set them up and then they turned around and sold it off to somebody else. And that's fine. I have nothing in that race that's not my part of the business. I'm not here to run your business. So however you want to do that, turn around and flip them, help yourself to it. As long as you pay us our service fee because that's where we make our money. We actually work for the money that we get. This is nothing, oh, well, you sign up and then we get money handed to us. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much time and effort it takes on the information that you're actually acquiring from us. So, I want that to be kept in mind. But the thing is, when you're looking at this, the Truck Driver Nation site, make sure that you go over it good. We got all these links here. And let me pull this and open it up. Maybe this will help it out a little bit. But when you're looking at this, you got all these links. You got sneak peek, career options, course prices, and you don't have to go through us to pay for it. We see when you buy what you're buying. Once you make your purchase, either we turn on the service or whatever it might be. Everybody's different what their needs are, so we just get it turned on for you, and that way you can start moving forward immediately. But when you drop down on the drop down, want to give me 1 second. So if you come over here, you do a drop down. This is actually your textbook, your dispatching tools, seasonal trends as far as freight, test preparation, truck driver nation. This is going to be the content of what you're agreeing to. No, I'm sorry, instructional content. This is on how to do certain things in there. So you watch the videos and it's instructions on how to use the website efficiently so you can move forward fast. Truck driver nation program agreement, testimonials of salaries. It's got everything on in here. Um, and even right here at the very back end, we put the VIP course. So please don't hesitate by neglecting to look over these things. We've added everything in the most simplistic of ways. So, I hope that helps. But I just wanted to do a quick one to let you know that don't just get into freight dispatching if it's just not for you. For the people that are doing real well, and we're talking about they start making money in 2 weeks, and by 2, 3 months, I've got people that 2, 3 months they see they're going. Okay, they're making money. But by the time they reach 6 months, they can easily look back and they can see how well their efforts have paid off. And you're working your time schedule between whatever you're going to do because you're scheduling yourself. I work between 7:30 and about 5:30 every day. And that way I know everybody's covered on what I'm doing because I dispatch and I'm doing this as well, teaching people about the course. That's the reason I make it completely virtual, so that way you don't have to stand around and depend on me because once you schedule a time with me that you need to meet because you're getting hung up somewhere, once I get on the phone with you, we don't come off until we get you brought up to speed. Some people are faster than others, and that's great. Some people are slower than others, but some people, once I start talking to them and finding out not just what they're doing in the subject matter, but I start getting a little bit of background. Some of them I probably wouldn't think that they're so confident of that maybe they should not have done this because they're not digging deep enough. They're only taking everything for face value for what we give them in Truck Driver Nation, and that's fine. You'll absolutely become a freight dispatcher, but that's not what makes the good dispatchers. There's the ones that really start digging stuff and find out stuff that, you know, because I can only give you so much that gives you the core material. Then you start going from scenario to scenario. That's where you start seeing me shine because there's not really any scenario that you're going to put me in that I'm not going to have a way to get my not myself out of it, but get my owner operator out of it and keep them moving. And negotiating that freight. Why negotiate the freight way I do? And when I'm talking to these people, if you're a piece of shit broker, let me tell you, you're a piece of shit because I do freight agent too. And you have to be straight. I'm straight either which way I'm going. I'm not looking to be your friend. If we turn out to have a bit of common ground, then that's possible. We could turn our friendship, but friendships take a long time to develop. But I'm giving you the continuity of what's needed for the given task of being either a freight agent or a freight dispatcher or a recruiter. So all the information is there. It's quickly, it's concise and precise. It means it matches to the fullest of the content in which it's under, so it's truthful. I don't, blatantly blow something up that that doesn't even make sense. It's just too good to be true. You got to watch out for carriers with that when you're actually boarding drivers as a recruiter. But anyways, just make sure that you're really into this if you're going to get involved with being a freight dispatcher, and make sure the course provider that you're dealing with actually does know what they're doing. I mean, when I'm talking to you about, because negotiation seems to always be one of the bigger issues when we're dealing with this, because that's what you're going to be doing most of the time is negotiating. Now, people say, well, what about doing the accounting portion for them? If they want you to do accounting and you're comfortable in doing accounting, you can do that. Okay. I don't teach it because I'm not trying to be there an accountant. I'm trying to maximize their gross revenue. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. You can't be yeah, you can, be I guess have a knowledge base of everything, but not a master of none. I just can't go that far with it. So I don't teach people here. Do the factoring for, I mean, do the accounting format, everything. You can send the bills and the like rate con and your proof of delivery, send that over to their factoring and make sure everything's signed off. There's a paper trail on everything to make sure everybody's getting paid, including yourself. And another thing is when you're dealing with these owner operators, if they're not wanting to actually let you be able to bill them, like send them an invoice, but you've already got access to the funds once they clear factoring so you can get paid, that's a red flag. Okay, don't trust people like that because that means they may or may not have the money. Because what if you can't look at their overall consistency on their ELD to see how well that they move during a given 11-hour shift, and if they've been loaded and they were already loaded when they came out of that rack for that morning run, and they only did 500 miles, and it's all open flat land. Let's say, for example, no bad storms because you look at everything during the day, and you're seeing that that's consistently staying that way. That person you may or may not want to continue to deal with. Because I can take 5 trucks and make as much as on 7 trucks because I got 5 good trucks that the guys are running. But like say, for example, if you are looking for freight and you need to have back office help, then get a hold of me because I got the people that can actually be your virtual assistants as well. They can watch those boards, but they still got to know how to negotiate those boards to be able to make sure they're posting loads or not posting loads. That'll be as a freight agent, but they actually be able to post the tractor and the trailer for availability so you can start stacking them loads. If I can pre-book a truck, then absolutely I'm going to do it because you can sit on there sometimes. I'm not saying that the freight's any better, but don't lean on those load boards all the time. You've got to learn to do direct shippers. Seamless AI is the one I definitely use. It's great software. It definitely lets me know the marketplace and the essence of who are the businesses for any given region, so I can start soliciting them and see who the uh, the coordinator is, for the logistic coordinator to make sure to see what they've got available and what they're willing to pay me for working with them to keep the quality trucks at their doors to get their customers' product and get them to their destination. Um, but I can't give them nothing any more than anybody else would because it's a service that we provide. But what I can give you is the legitimacy and transparency of everything and constant level of communication about where your load's at. Okay, you got to keep them up to speed on every change of the dime. That way they don't have to worry about it because they know where it's at. Why should they have to chase you when you already made the agreement with them? Yeah, the micro tracker is helping stuff, but keep that one-on-one relationship going because that's how you're building your whole business behind being a freight dispatch service. But anyways, I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. I hope that helped you out some. Some. If you got some topics, send them to me. Make sure to check out the blogs on truckdrivernation.com. If you want to do some affiliate work for me or with me, then obviously, get with us. We'll get you signed up where you're sending people wanting to learn to be dispatchers. You get up 20% off that. If you want to be recruiting on a that same type of platform, be an affiliate, you get 70% of whatever the carrier pays for the drivers, in addition to what you'd make based off of what you're doing as a freight dispatcher yourself if you decide to go through the program. So everything you're making money when you're dealing with us, there's no freebies because we understand every single one of us have to eat. That's the whole portion reason behind what we do. But just keep the transparency real with me. If I see you're trying to pull some crap, obviously I'll cut you loose because it's just that, sense I don't have time for that. And it's just yeah, this is easy. It's not the easiest work, but it's easier work than being on that truck. And it's more profitable than being on that truck. Um, and that should make simple common sense to you. Just think about how hard you work as a truck driver. So if you want to come out of that truck, let me know. We can get you moving in the right direction. But anyways, definitely check out truckdrivernation.com. Go through all the content that's in here. There's lots of videos and things that you can have a very transparent view of what you're being involved with and what's expected of you as a freight dispatcher and the true day-to-day work atmosphere. So you know that this is something that you would like to put yourself bring yourself up to speed and start making your money based on this in this format. But anyways, I hope that helps everybody. I appreciate your time. And as I always say, I appreciate your participation in your business with Truck Driver Nation. I'm glad for everybody that gets finished up and gets to work. For you that are, you send messages, I've decided to back out. We're here to help you. We don't want to see you back out, but like I tell everybody, I can do a lot of things, but I can't carry the torch for you. We give you everything you need. It's completely everything. There is nothing missing. I mean, we got so many scenarios, so many different factors that we show you, and even on the leads, people's like, well, I've sent out leads, but I'm not getting no feedback from the drivers. I don't know what to tell you because I'm not the one sending your leads out. I may ask a simple question. And then this is literally it. And I keep telling everybody, and everybody thinks I'm lying. If you're going to send out through text, because I use bulk text, do you need a freight dispatcher? That's all I need to send them. Okay. I am a freight dispatch service. I want to be able to sit there and get the opportunity to keep your truck loaded. Okay. If we can have to, we'll negotiate it down lower and start building it up once you build the confidence in what we do. But I don't know how to tell you else to get the drivers. We give you the leads, but look at other platforms. If you just ain't no good with just doing a regular old message, I mean, there's stuff all over, Facebook groups. There's, use your uh, even your FMCSA site for Safer Web and look in there and find the small truckers and send them messages out, call them. You can text them as well, but if they're not receiving the text, then it does you no good. But you've got to put that extra work and that extra thought process out there. And then put your ads on Craigslist if you want to do one. If you get an ad that's 35 bucks, that lasts for 30 days, then if anybody answers you, obviously they're looking for a freight dispatcher. The freight dispatchers that I hire, I pay them, $10 an hour, and they actually, I mean, and these are already experienced freight dispatchers. So when I pay these guys, they're actually digging up their own drivers because I'm paying them the $10 an hour. So they know if they don't get drivers within weeks, they're done. That means you're not taking it serious. I'm not here. I'm not just sitting here saying, here, I've got all these drivers that I need you to go and start dispatching for. They have to actually generate their placement inside my company because they don't need the freight dispatcher skill because they're already freight dispatchers. But anyways, I hope that helps. I don't want to keep it going, but we'll leave it at that. But anyways, I appreciate everybody's time. I hope that helps you out a lot to understand some of the ways that you need to look at this position and being a freight dispatcher. I got lots of people that are being really well successful, but I'm getting a handful that are just they're falling apart. They're not getting it pulled together, and it don't make a lot of sense. We give you everything you need for what you paid for the service, and you got to mentor yourself some, even though you still have time. So make sure you got my mentorship. So get me on the phone, go over the problems. But if I'm sitting there and you got me on the phone and you don't know what your problems are, I don't neither. It's just I don't have no idea what your problems are. So you got to be able to if you can give me the actual as much detail about what's going on, then I can give you good feedback. What you got to do. Not what if you want to do. You have to do it the way I'm telling you, or you're not going to go forward. But anyways, I appreciate everybody. I hope that helps out. For you drivers out there, please be safe out there on that road. And new students, welcome aboard. And for the folks that have actually finished up, congratulations. And I wish you the best on what you're doing. If you're still working with me, depending on what you chose to do, then keep pushing forward. I see what you guys are doing. Some of them you're doing great. That's awesome. But just don't get pushed into doing freight dispatching and your heart ain't into it. It's just going to waste your time and you're going to feel discouraged. And I'm not here to tear you down. I'm here to build you up. That's what you're paying for me. This ain't boot camp. Okay. But anyways, everybody have a great day. Be blessed. And let's move on to the next subject.